Today is November 17th, 2025, and Nano Dimension is coiling. It's returning to the exact price range where it has launched historically on a major run in its history. And the $1.50 handle is a memory, a place where money ultimately wakes up. And every time this stock drifts down this corridor, someone steps in quietly, aggressively, and predictably. And for years, Nano Dimension has had one defining behavioral trait. When it falls into the $1.40 handle, $1.60 zone, it rebutes, where this range has acted as a pressure valve, a place where bottom traders and insiders, algorithmic hunters, and tech speculators start circling around. Nice, clean volume shelves. And this is not just hype tech. It is deep state tech. 3D printing, microfabrication, high precision electronics, the kind of tech that governments, defense, and next-gen computing ride on. Where these niche Israeli tech names, Nano Dimension, BMR, they don't behave like normal small caps. They move in swarms. They completely flush, crash, and full-blown explosion, and then out of nowhere, they rip back to the $3 handle like a full-blown slingshot. And its descending wedge structure here, which you would call a potential head and shoulder, could be a neckline squeeze, where it's a slow, methodical transfer of shares from emotional sellers to emotionless buyers. And each and every time, this minor ascending uptrend price support has been defended heavily by long traders and or bull traders, where the bears press down and volume usually completely disappeared around these key regions. And this is not a downtrend. It could be preparation, where the wedge is tightening and the spring is loading, where liquidity is drying up. And when stocks usually get this quiet, violence usually follows. So long traders, bull traders, they must hold the $1.50 and ultimately the $1.50 handle to avert any further damage within these technical indicators. Pop the $1.60 handle in confluence of its 50-day and 200-day moving averages on a solidified green candle close breakout above. And then you could issue some stops down below the $1.50, $1.45 scaling out process, down below the ascending price support level. This would be a classic spring release setup to hone in on additional targets. The $1.85 handle for 10.5% in gains, to the 201 handle for 20%, and ultimately, if things get really bullish, to the 217 handle for 30% in gains to the upside. And where Nano Dimension has a historical habit of dying and then resurrecting, this could be a classic neckline squeeze, where it flushes back to the $1.50 handle, ultimately gets ignored and forgotten, and everybody stops looking. And then the money that knows the sector best walks in and carries this thing back to $3. Now, there is not a part of me that believes that this is a meme setup, but a behavioral setup, a liquidity setup, a structural setup. Pop that level, and the quietest charts are always the ones planning their loudest moves. With the relative strength index on its flatlining, not dead, but completely coiling throughout this span of time, the Wilder's relative strength index, call it the cousin to its RSI indicator. The MACD with bearish momentum that has been sent testing its zero line threshold, where bulls are awaiting. Volume is gone and dried up after a huge, massive green 11.6 million spike, which could mean when something finally triggers this chart, there is no liquidity to absorb the explosion upward.